Hello and welcome to the Money Rebel podcast. This is your host, Haley David, and it is my mission to help you be your own boss, rebel against your 9-to-5, and build a successful business that you actually love. So if you're ready to play by your own rules, attract more dream clients, and build your business to 6 figures and beyond, let's dive in. If you're a business owner and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I just can't even be bothered to post on social media, or if the state of the world is making you not want to market your business on social media, or maybe you love using social media, but you want to explore other ways to build your business, this episode is for you. I'm so excited to dive into today's topic because more and more people are really just tired of social media. I know for me personally, I'm finding myself wanting to scroll less and less. I feel like every time I get on social media, it just feels so chaotic and not in a good way. I want to keep this episode uplifting, so I'm not going to totally bash social media or make this political, but we all know that right now, social media probably feels like a dumpster fire. So 2 things that I want to clear up. I am not anti-social media. I am anti-picking marketing strategies willy-nilly. It's one thing to experiment and try new and different things with your marketing, but it's a whole nother ballgame to pick your marketing strategies without doing market research. The second thing I want to clear up is I do believe social media can be amazing. Thanks to the power of social media, business owners have a way of marketing their business and connecting not only with potential clients, but also with new people all over the world. So many connections and communities can be created on social media. And this is especially important for small businesses because it's a free marketing channel that can be really effective. I really try to remind myself that social media can be a good tool and it can be super helpful when used in a way that aligns with your overall business goals. So the key to remember is not every business needs to spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of hours devoted to a social media strategy. If your clients aren't on social media or they don't make buying decisions on social media, it does not have to be a huge part of your marketing strategy. There are so many businesses out there that are absolutely thriving without social media, okay? Before getting into the different strategies you can use to market your business outside of social media, I wanted to briefly talk about how to decide where to market. Because ultimately, when you're deciding where to market your services and offers, it should be based on data that shows you where the most effective place to reach your target audience is. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about how you picked your current marketing strategy. What market research did you do to validate your current marketing strategy? And are you marketing based on where you think your ideal clients are hanging out or where the data shows they're actually hanging out and making buying decisions from? For the intro of this podcast, I really wanted to give you a few perspective shifts before we dive into the tips of marketing your business outside of social media, because the human brain is not going to want to allocate its resources, aka time and energy, to something that it doesn't believe will even work. So I want to help shift your perspective if right now you believe it's impossible to market without social media, or my business will take a massive revenue hit if I'm not on social media, or if you believe I have to be on social media because that's what everyone else is doing. Now, one of the reasons I can confidently sit here and tell you that you can have a super successful business that brings in clients consistently without relying on social media is because I've done it myself. My first business was a local cleaning company, and I grew it to 6 figures with multiple locations without relying on social media. Did my brand have a social media account? Yes. Did I get more than 10% of my clients from there? No. Did I post regularly to my business Facebook page? No, I did not. With my current business, Money Rebel, I have had a few clients that have found me on social media, but most of them did not come from me actively posting to socials because your girl is not a social media girly. If you've been in the Money Rebel world for a while, you know that I've always shared that I do not have to actively post to social media to get clients. And that's not to brag, it's to encourage business owners that have maybe predominantly been using social media as the majority of their marketing to think bigger and to grow beyond social media. Because as a business owner, whether you're a local business owner or an online business owner, it's so important to think outside of the box and to use marketing tools and strategies that go beyond your industry. So for a local cleaning business, it is important to leverage the online tools to get exposure and traffic to your business. And for online business owners who were maybe taught that, the most important thing is to just have an Instagram account that has a lot of followers and makes a lot of money. For those of you who have been taught that, or mainly focus on social media, it's so important for you to think about growing your business beyond social media, because those are going to be limitations on your business. So like I said, I've always shared that because of the business knowledge that I have, and because I've prioritized building the foundations of my business, which is exactly what I help my clients do as well, and increasing their skill level about business overall with sales and marketing, not just as it relates to social media, I am not at the mercy of posting in order to make money and get clients. That was a quick rant, but anyways, your girl is not a social media girly. I'm also not a super social media hater. So I'm not going to sit here and say social media is useless. Obviously, we all know it's not. It certainly can be really helpful. There's loads of businesses making a lot of money only using social media. There's loads of businesses making a lot of money not using it at all. Like I said, I really focused on the business foundations and building a business, not just a following, which were the key to my long-term success in business. My 10-year anniversary of being an entrepreneur, being my own boss, is coming up in May. So May 2025 is 10 years since I started my very first business. I started that when I was in college. I think I was 22 years old. My birthday is in July, so that's why it's hard for me to figure out how old I was, because I was either 22 or 23. But I think I was 22, about to turn 23 in July. And I made the decision to start my business while I was in college full time because I had a super shitty boss. So I'm not just some guru who watched a course and is regurgitating information to you, telling you to do something. No, I have actually lived and breathed these strategies, these frameworks that I teach my clients. Some of these tips that I'm sharing with you today are things that I have actually been implementing in my businesses over the past 10 years. And I truly believe, because I focused on business foundations and actually learning about business as a whole, it is one of the things that has allowed me to be my own boss for the past 10 years. When I had my cleaning company, I used to get phone calls every other day, sometimes every day, but I would have people regularly calling me, wanting to pay me. And that would happen until I didn't have the space to take on any more ongoing clients. It's 100% possible to build a business without relying on social media. Not only have I done this myself, but I have helped so many of my clients build businesses that make a lot of money a month and they aren't even on social media at all. One of my clients made her first $10,000 month for the first time ever in her life, making that much money only 6 months after starting her local therapy practice. So you guys, it is 100% possible. And predominantly, I work with service-based businesses. I'm not a business coach who coaches other coaches on how to coach coaches. I'm not shaming coaches right now. I'm just sharing these strategies are based on my actual experience as a service-based business owner. And most of the people I work with are actual service providers, graphic designers, therapists, nutritionists, copywriters, photographers, etc. And so it is 1,000% possible for you to have a thriving business that makes a lot of money and doesn't rely on social media to bring in your clients at all. So the first big takeaway here is that when you're deciding what marketing strategy to use, you really need to consider your ideal client and do market research to get the data that shows you where to not only find your people, but where to sell to them as well. So really, it doesn't matter if you use social media or not. If you are guessing at where to find your ideal clients, or you're building a marketing strategy based off of trends or what random people tell you to do on the internet, it is not going to be effective in the long run. Sure, maybe you got lucky and it just so happened to be that the random strategy Coach Sally gave in an Instagram post turned out to get you some clients, but I want you to be in the driver's seat of your business success, not leaving it to luck. So getting intentional with not only how you use social media in your business, but also how you create your other strategies in business will be a game changer. So like I said, The goal of this podcast episode is to not just bash social media. It is to really actually get you to take some time to create a data-driven marketing strategy, because social media or not, if you're just guessing and winging it on where to market, it's not going to be effective, okay? Getting intentional with not only how you use social media, but also how you create your other strategies in business will be a game changer. A good question to ask yourself is, how do you want to use social media for your business? Do a quick audit. Just because everyone might be wanting to diversify and not use social media anymore, if you enjoy it, don't hop on that trend. If you really love using social media, I doubt you're listening to this episode, but in the odd chance that you are, use social media how you want to in your business. Don't let other people's opinions or thoughts dictate that. If you like using it for your business and it converts and you're regularly getting clients and you enjoy doing it, I'm super happy for you and you should continue doing that. So many business owners, I think we see certain trends floating around, or Coach Sally says you have to do ABC. This is the key to success. So you're doing it wrong if you're doing XYZ. Like, there's so much noise on social media, which I think is why a lot of people are also wanting to get off of it. The reasons why people are wanting to get off social media is a whole other podcast episode. But it's a noisy space, right? Especially for business owners. We feel like someone's always telling us what we're doing wrong. And the key to creating a business that is not only successful, but that you actually enjoy is to get really intentional with what you're doing and doing things based on 3 factors. 1, what the data says, right? Data-driven strategies to make informed decisions. 2, making sure these strategies are catered to the people you serve, your target audience. And 3, based on what you want to do. It needs to check all 3 boxes. If it doesn't, you're going to sacrifice in one area. You're either going to be not making as much money as you could be, or you're not going to be enjoying your business. So it really needs to check all 3 boxes. So get intentional. How do you want to use social media for your business? Maybe you don't like the way you're currently using it. Does it feel like you're at the mercy of an algorithm and you hate feeling like the only way to get clients is to post and always be on social media? Do you just want to have a brand presence on social media instead of having it be the main marketing channel? Or perhaps you just want to repurpose your podcast episodes or blog posts to social media to show that your business is active and that's it. There's a big difference between having a social media account that posts things here and there to show the public like, hey, I exist, I'm alive, right? There's a pulse. And having a social media account that is using it as their main lead generation, marketing, and sales driver in their business. Big difference. I really want you to get curious about how you're currently using social media, what you like and don't like, and what you think you want to change. And then I want you to do the market research to help inform the new marketing strategy that you want to build for your business. Because in the Money Rebel world, you are the captain of your ship. You make the rules, you decide where you want to go, what you want to do, and I'm here to help you get there. I'm your partner in crime to help you navigate the course and help you find your own answers to some of these questions, and then give you the strategy to help you make it happen. Because in business, things don't have to be all or nothing. They don't have to be either or. It can be both. I can build a business that brings in most clients offline and use social media how I want to. You get to decide what feels good for you. It doesn't have to be market offline or social media. It can be both. So, okay, now that we've got that covered and out of the way, let's dive into some of the ways you can market your business outside of social media. By no means am I saying you should do every single tip I'm going to give you here all at once. Actually, please do not try to do everything all at once. You're just going to get overwhelmed. The reason I started this podcast episode off with 10 minutes of encouraging you to do market research and get intentional is because I don't want you to just pick a strategy here without doing some market research and considering if it actually aligns with your business model and your target audience, okay, and what you want to do. Remember the 3 criteria that your business strategies and the decisions you make in your business should meet. With the tips I'm going to give you today, implement what feels aligned with what you want to do. Tips 1 through 5, I personally think every single business owner should implement in their business. Again, please do not try to do everything at once. Pick what aligns with you and leave the rest. So, tip number 1 is create a Google business profile. This is a game changer, you guys. Every single business owner needs to have a Google business profile. This was formerly called Google My Business. I will leave a link to this in the podcast show notes so you can create your profile. Otherwise, you can go to Google and just search Google Business Profile. It will pop up. So Google's tagline for this product is turn people who find you on Google search and maps into new customers. So if you serve a local clientele, this is 100% must have for your business. If you primarily serve clients online, you can and should still create an account. The big thing here is when we're talking about clients going into Google and searching for the problem you solve or how you help them, we want you to be able to pop up. So yes, sometimes social media accounts can pop up if they're like searching your direct business name. But if you have a Google business profile and you take the time to optimize it, which is tip number 2, it gives you a better chance of showing up in the search results for your potential customers when they're searching for things. So again, that segues into tip number 2, which is optimize this Google business profile. Seriously, you guys, take the time to upload your logo, pictures, services, offers, ask past clients for reviews, make sure you're linking to your website. The really cool thing about Google Business Profile is that when you create your account, the dashboard is going to give you tips and things on how to maximize it, right? It's going to tell you the strength of your profile. So it will already tell you how to optimize it. These are some of the things that it will ask you to do, but really taking the time to, not just quickly write out a description of what you do for your company, but to really think about it, maybe even using the main keyword people are searching for when they search for your services is going to make a huge difference. I recently just spent a few hours this week optimizing my Google business profile, and I've already had an increase of people visiting my profile. So it has already paid off. And I'm actually experimenting with a few different strategies on there that I'm going to create a different podcast episode about, sharing with you guys the different strategies that I'm experimenting with in Money Rebel right now to grow my own business beyond social media. I'm in this phase right now of experimenting with different marketing strategies. So I'm going to do a whole podcast episode of how I'm using Google Business Profile to do that. Tip number 3, create a website. This website does not need to be fancy. You do not have to spend $5,000 hiring a copywriter or graphic designer to build this site. Shout out to my friend and client Unison, who used to say version 1 is better than version none. Having a website, even if it's one page, will be so much better than having no website at all. And you don't need to start with a 5-page website. You can do the bare minimum. Literally create a 1-page website that gives your ideal client everything they need to make a purchasing decision. Your 1-page website could literally have like the main hero section, which is just the first thing that you see, and it immediately tells them what you do, the problem you solve. For example, if you're a therapist, it should say mental health therapist you could specify the location that you serve or the type of therapy that you offer. Immediately tell them who you are, what you do. If you're an organizer, you offer professional organizing in San Diego, stuff like that. On your website, if you go the 1-page route, you literally just need to list your services, prices, a little bit more about your company, what makes you the best at what you do, really clarify your differentiators. When people are going to a website, they likely, where they're at in the buyer's journey, they don't need to be convinced that they need a cleaner or an organizer. They're probably already aware of that, which is why they're on your site. They need you to answer the question of why you. Secretly in their head, they're thinking, why should I choose you? Because odds are they probably are going to other people's sites as well. Maybe not, but think of the questions that they're going to be asking themselves in their head when they're trying to decide how to hire an organizer or a therapist or a copywriter. And if you can answer those on your website, it's going to help those people go from potential clients to paying clients. So give your ideal client everything they need to help them make a purchasing decision. Get the reviews, make sure there's a way that they can contact you to hire you. That could be a phone number, email, inquiry form, a free consultation form. That's what I used to have for my cleaning site. That worked really, really well because people didn't have to call me and then schedule a free in-person consultation and wait. They felt like there was an immediate thing they could do. Click here to get a free online estimate. They fill out the form. I contact them. based on the form that they submitted. It helps get things going quicker. And on the Money Rebel site, you can go check that out if you want to, for how I have that structured. But depending on the offer, people can either buy a template directly right away. They don't have to reach out to me. They can just purchase it immediately. They can book a strategy session right away. All the other services, there is like an application or inquiry process that they have to go through. In terms of where to build the website, I know that Wix and WordPress, they have free plans. Also, if you buy a domain using GoDaddy, which I highly recommend, then I do believe they also give you a free one-page website to use with that domain. This was a few years ago. I know they were doing that. You might want to double check that now. But again, if you're skeptical about a website or you're not sure if it's really going to pay off, and you don't want to dump a bunch of money into it right away, this is a really great way to get started, start seeing some progress before you decide to dump a bunch of money or time into it. If you're already like, okay, Haley, I want to do it right the first time, like I really want to go all in, I personally use Showit to build my website. I can put a link in the podcast show notes for you for my referral code. I think I get a free month, you get a free month. That's how it works. You don't have to use my referral code. You can go to their website or just Google referral code Showit. But that's what I use. I really love it. It might not be the best for a beginner because it is a really simple option, which could take a lot of time for someone newer to the web design space to figure out how to use. So that's why Wix and WordPress, they're really nice because they're drag and drop and they're pretty intuitive. In the beginning, you might not need all these customizable options. Yeah, Showit is amazing. They have amazing templates. I would say it's definitely for the more intermediate, advanced type people. And, if you're interested in hiring someone to help you build a website, that's always an option too. And there's nothing wrong with hiring someone to help you do this. It'll help you get it done faster. Just know you can do it yourself. One-page website, get her done, get her out there. So one quick side note, 100% you need a custom domain. Please do not have a URL that says sallywebdesign.wix.com. Please get a real domain like sallywebdesign.com. It creates so much more trust with your audience than using a .wix or .squarespace or .wordpress.com. And yes, my personal opinion, I do think .com is still way better than .co and that sort of thing. If you're thinking, Haley, why do I need a website when I can use social media? And really, it's because websites create trust with your customers. You also own your website and domain, unlike your social media account. Your website can be and should be a 24/7 salesperson for you when you take the time to help drive traffic to it and make sure that your website is high quality and giving your customers the information they need. With social media, you have to rely on the algorithm, and it's like, will that post you spent 2 hours making reach the number of people that you want? Will Instagram decide to show it to 5 people or 500? Who knows? But when you have a website, you can intentionally do things to increase your visibility and have a little bit more control over. So tip number 4 is SEO, which ties in with tip number 3. Loving this episode? Then you'll love the Bad for Business newsletter. Thinking outside of the box and doing things differently aren't bad for business. They're the game changer. Join all of the other badass business owners getting rebellious takes on business, money, and life delivered straight to their inbox every Wednesday morning. Head to the link in the show notes to subscribe or go to moneyrebelco.com/subscribe. Please spend an hour or two learning the basics about SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and really take the time to find out what keywords you can use and put those bad boys on your one-page site, or if you decide to go all out, 5-page site, create an SEO strategy for your website. Having a one-page website with some strategic SEO keywords that you're trying to rank for will be an absolute game changer for your business. SEO is one of those things that takes time to start working. It will, on average, take about 6 months before you start to see traction. 6 months to a year, I believe, to start really getting the results that you want. If you implement SEO this week, you can expect to start seeing some traction by September. The other thing to add is I'm not an SEO expert. I know a fair bit about it from the own education I've done myself, but I encourage you to Google and take the time to educate yourself more about this. I do also know that with SEO, it's not something you want to be constantly changing your keywords about. Otherwise, it's not going to give Google enough time to associate your website with the word you're trying to rank for. So you want to make sure you're spending that time beforehand researching your keywords, making sure you have a good keyword strategy, putting them on your website and then watching it, look at the data and see how things are going. Don't just change it every month. There are so many free resources out there that you can watch or read that will teach you what you need to know about SEO. And the other really cool thing is that you don't need to be an SEO expert to get results from SEO. I know a lot of times people think like, oh, that sounds so difficult. Why bother even trying to do it myself? I'm not an expert. It's not going to work for me. This is one of those things that if you take a little bit of time, like an hour or two, you will get results. You can watch a free video or read some blog posts to understand the basics of SEO. And then you can go to Google Keywords Planner, which is free, and search for your keywords. There are loads of other keyword tools out there, but Google Keywords Planner is free and easy to get started. If you're interested in other keyword tools, literally just go to Google and type in like SEO keyword tools. So an objection I often hear to doing SEO is like, oh, it's so difficult and it takes so much time. I don't understand SEO or websites at all. And I totally feel that. It's 100% valid. It can be difficult to learn something new, but learning the basics of SEO and creating at least a one-page website is easier than it seems. It can be done. I literally just helped someone on Tuesday or Wednesday this week do keyword research, pick their keywords, and create their new services page on their website in like 2, maybe 3 hours. So if you can set aside 5 hours in the next week or two to get it done, you will get it done. Now, if you already have a website, this still applies to you. Make sure you have an SEO strategy and make sure you keep your website updated and relevant. If it's been a year or two since you've updated your website, now is a great time to go there and make sure that your website is not only standing out, but it's giving your potential clients the information they need, and it's really working as your 24/7 salesperson. Tip number 5, using Google Analytics. If you're not using Google Analytics already for your website, or if you're in the camp of you're going to create a website after listening to this, make sure when you do, you set up a Google Analytics account and embed it on your website. They will give you so many tutorials on how to actually do that. I'm not going to talk about that now, but I promise you, if you want to do something, no matter what it is, there's probably an educational resource for you on the internet how to do it, okay? So Google Analytics tagline is, with Google Analytics, you can fine-tune your digital strategy, optimize your campaigns, and take your online presence to new heights. This tool is free and will give you the data that you need to see how many people are visiting your site, what they're clicking on, how long they're staying on your website for. And I use this tool for so many different reasons, but this tool shows me the location my website visitors are coming. I know most of them are coming from the United States, Canada, Australia, the UK. It shows me how they're getting to my website. They're coming from a direct search or social media or different areas. It shows me how people are getting to my site. If it's from a blog post, right? All those things. It's also showing me important demographics like age, location, interests, and literally so much more. Using data will help you make informed decisions, and making informed decisions leads to better business results. Okay, so one of the best ways to increase your conversion rate on your website is to understand how customers are behaving when they're interacting with your site. So if I'm wondering how I can get more sales for a certain service of mine, I can specifically go in and look how many people have clicked on that services page from the homepage, how many people have viewed that services page, and based on that, how many of those people have actually clicked. That's going to tell me the conversion rate for getting someone to actually even click on the services page, let alone the button that I have of the actions that I want them to take. So I don't have to sit there and wonder why someone isn't buying or not doing something. I can use this data to actually help me see, okay, I need to drive more traffic because I don't have enough data to make a decision yet on my strategy. So then that helps me know as a business owner, okay, my number one goal right now is to drive traffic to my website before I start changing a bunch of my marketing strategies. I'll stop ranting about that, but Google Analytics is where it's at, and it'll make you feel like so much more of an empowered business owner. Tip number 6, this one is short and sweet. Ask past clients to leave you a Google review. Make it super simple for them and send them the link. Your Google business profile gives you a link to share with people to make it super easy for people to leave you reviews. The more Google reviews that you have, the more likely someone will be able to trust your brand, especially if it's like strangers or a cold audience who isn't really familiar with your brand. If they're searching for your service and they see that you have all of these reviews from real clients that are sharing what you helped them with, the great job that you did, it's going to help those potential customers really trust your brand and be more likely to go with you over a brand who has no reviews or bad reviews or reviews that might seem fake. I highly recommend implementing this. If you already have your Google business profile set up, this tip can be done in 10 minutes or less. For those of you who are going to create a business profile, again, once you've got that done, it takes 10 minutes or less to send this link to your most recent 3 clients, 10 clients, all your clients, whatever it is. This is a really quick tip that you can implement right away. Tip number 7, depending on what industry you're in, you could create an account on places like Fiverr or Upwork. These are pay-to-play platforms, and I do believe they take a fee if someone hires you, but it's still another marketing channel that could work for your business that doesn't require you to spend hours posting on social media. I know a lot of graphic designers and copywriters have profiles in these places. If your ideal client is someone who would search these sites when looking to hire someone who does what you do, it might be a good idea to have a profile there. I don't use this in my business. I know of a lot of people who do and have, but please do your own due diligence with this one. I'm not a huge fan of pay to play because I know there's so many organic marketing strategies out there that work, but depending on what your business goals are and what industry you're in, this tip could work really well. For example, for some people, they might have to pay $10 to acquire a $5,000 client on Upwork or Fiverr, or spend 40 hours on social media trying to get one. Do your own due diligence with this. There's definitely some pros and cons with using these, but if you are absolutely fed up with social media and you're like, Kaylee, give me a solution that could work for me, this could be it. Do your research, weigh up the pros and cons. If the pros outweigh all the cons, give it a try, see how it helps, be open to trying new things. Tip number 8, networking events. Get in different rooms and meet new people, different people, either in person or online. Grow your network. Take some time and put yourself out there to grow your network and your community. If you're an introvert, I know this might sound like your own personal hell to think about doing something like this, but find groups that resonate with you. There are probably networking groups online for introverts. Your local business chamber of commerce might also be a good place to start networking. You can Google networking events for XYZ, what you do, or entrepreneurs, business owners. Online sites like Meetup and Eventbrite will show local events near you, and it'll even show you online networking events as well. If you sell digital products, these sites can also be a unique and great way to even create little funnels as well. I'm going to be experimenting with my own Meetup funnel in the near future to sell some of my digital templates. I already told you I'm going to do an episode about different marketing strategies I'm experimenting with, so stay tuned for that. But there's so many different ways that you can use these sites to network, grow your business, maybe sell some of your digital products, or maybe you're a local business owner and you want to create a free event for people to come to. Let's say maybe you're a graphic designer who serves a local clientele, or maybe you've served an online clientele for a while and you want to tap into your local space. You could host a free workshop about teaching small business owners how to create better graphics for their business, something like that. A free event that's going to grow your community, grow your network, get people used to working with you. One of the greatest things about networking events is that you could find your next BFF, business partner, client, etc. You really don't know what will happen. And so many successful businesses get a lot of their clientele from referrals. Networking and meeting new people, getting your business out there, gives more opportunities for referrals to happen. My clients used to refer so many people to my cleaning company that I eventually created a referral program because it was such a large part of my business. Inside of Money Rebel, referrals are also a common way for new clients to find me. So many of my past clients are like, if someone's talking about wanting to start a business, leave their long-time career, or build their business by their own rules and really wanting to build a brand that's different, they're always so quick to say, oh my God, you have to work with Haley in Money Rebel. Like, that's exactly what she does. The other thing I want to add is if you don't like any of the existing networking events, create your own. I will also likely be experimenting with creating my own networking event in the future. So again, if you're not a huge fan of networking or you've searched for events and there's not one that you want, put yourself out there and create the event that you want. and see what happens. Tip number 8, create a referral program if it makes sense for your business. Humans love helping other humans. Think of the last time you were chatting with someone and they needed help with something. Maybe they were saying how they're desperately trying to find a new hairstylist, and you felt so happy because you're like, oh my God, I know just the person you're looking for, and you helped them solve their problem. It feels so good being able to help people. And the psychology of referral programs works on several different levels. People trust their friends, family, and the people they know. So if those people are recommending your services to new people, they will already be more likely to trust you because the social proof is there from someone they know and trust. If potential clients know people already love your business and hire you, the more likely they are to do it themselves. According to an article on financesonline.com, it is estimated that 92% of consumers around the world say they trust recommendations from friends and family above all other forms of advertising. So think about how many times you ask for recommendations from the people that you trust, or when people ask you for recommendation. How can you use this to help more people hire you and find your business? Creating a referral program is a great way to do it. When you care about your clients and you're great at what you do and have an intentional client experience, most clients will happily share your services with others without ever expecting anything in return. That's what happens when you prioritize providing a quality service. A referral program is just a little cherry on top, an incentive to help spread the word about a company people love. Tip number 9, market research. Getting better at doing market research and knowing how to actually use it in your business is going to not only improve your marketing, but your sales and make both of those things more effective. I already mentioned this at the beginning, but one of the best things you can do is to regularly do market research. This is something that so many people skip, and it's also one of the things that make or break businesses. It's literally one of the top 3 reasons why businesses fail. To expand on this tip even further, identify your target audience based on your market research and create your marketing strategy around both of them. What you do offline and with your overall marketing strategy will help your online marketing efforts, whether that's social media or Google or SEO. But in order for these to work, you have to have your foundational pieces covered and in place. That's why market research and regularly staying tapped in to what your target audience is doing, wanting, needing, and what your competitors are doing is vital. Tip number 10, online business forums. Try using some other online business forums depending on your industry. This could be really effective. Lately, I've been absolutely loving Reddit. It's an underrated way to grow your brand recognition and potentially get clients. Odds are your target audience are asking questions on Reddit that you could be the one to help answer and then drive them somewhere to learn more from you. It could be your website, blog, podcast, freebie, etc. And just for funsies right now, I want you to think of a question that your ideal client might have or might be searching in Google. For my ideal client, that might be how to price my services. Then after you've thought of the question your ideal client might be searching in Google, I want you to search that exact question in Reddit and see what comes up. Set a timer and spend the next 20 minutes answering your ideal client's questions. When I was on a call the other day with a client, I was telling her about Reddit while we were doing market research. We wanted to find out what her ideal client was actually searching for when looking for her services. A search result popped up showing us that someone had asked into Reddit for classical vocal coach recommendations in New York. So not only is it likely that your ideal clients are trying to get answers on Reddit, they might even be looking for recommendations. So Quora and Discord are more examples of online forums. You can go to Google, search for online community forums. I'm sure there's so many out here. These are just 3. And if you decide to implement this tip in your business as part of your marketing strategy, I encourage you to decide how much time a week you want to allocate towards this. So if it's 1 hour per week, maybe you set a timer for 15 minutes and do it 4 days a week. Tip number 11, don't be afraid to experiment with different things. Embrace the OG marketing methods. I'm talking about radio ads, newspaper ads, sponsoring events in your community or other communities or online events. Get a fun decal for your car. Get a couple sweatshirts made with your business name or your tagline. Put up flyers in local traffic spots. Again, please don't do all of these willy-nilly. These are just a few ways to reach potential customers that are outside of the box of what you may be used to. For example, let's say your primary ideal client is moms. A great way to get your business out there in front of them could be to sponsor your local high school or elementary school sports or music programs. Usually they are seeking out sponsors in the local business community to help fund and sponsor those events. You could also donate to local nonprofits with the various charity events they put on. And yes, some of these strategies, of course, are going to involve a monetary investment, but it's likely not as expensive as you think and could align your company values with these different causes and organizations. So radio ads, newspaper ads, those are probably less expensive than you think, and it might just be a fun way to build some brand recognition for your business. And speaking of charity events and local nonprofits, I am the president of a nonprofit organization in my hometown that we created in honor of my friend who passed away. Our organization helps keep Colton's memory alive by helping local animals in need. Animal welfare is one of our top causes as an organization. And every year we run a charity golf tournament and get different sponsors for the event. It's a really great way for businesses to not only help a cause they care about and make a difference, but to get their business name out there as well. Tip number 12, create long-form content. Having some sort of blog, podcast, newsletter, YouTube, or email marketing strategy for your business can be a great way to market your business without having the bulk of your content creation be for social media. YouTube is maybe borderline social media, but it just depends on how you use it. Your social media's posts may get traction for a day or a week, but your long form content is something that you have more control over and can live forever. Essentially, blogging is especially good for SEO, and it's something I've recently implemented for Money Rebel. Yes, you still need to drive traffic to your long form content, but it gives you more options when it comes to your marketing strategies. When you're implementing this, you get to control what you want to say, how you want to say it, when you want to say it. And the great thing is a blog that's usually hosted through your website, and you'll own that. Your newsletter, you get to control what you're saying on there and what you're sharing. No, we can't control how many people go to our blog or a podcast or newsletter, but there are certain things you can control when you're doing this. So maybe instead of trying to have Instagram be your main driver of sales, you switch to using social media to promote your podcast and drive traffic from social media to your podcast instead. Let the podcast be the marketing channel that's building the trust and doing the heavy lifting for you. Please remember that long form content takes time. I'm not encouraging you to do every single one of these. Deciding to add a podcast, YouTube channel, or blog to your marketing strategies is a big time commitment. And again, at the end of the day, for some of these tips that I've given you, you need to do market research first to see if it aligns with your business, see if it aligns with what you want to do. Because if your target audience isn't someone who's going to read a blog, it wouldn't make sense for you to spend hours and hours pouring into a blog. So those are just something to think about, is that when we're creating long form content, we need to make sure that it's something that our target audience would utilize or be searching for or want. There you have it. That's 12 different ideas of how you can market your business outside of social media. Wasn't planning on doing 12, but it's a really solid list of things that can move the needle in your business without having to post on social media. The other thing is, even if you want social media to be a big part of your marketing strategy, the things I listed in this episode will help your marketing and sales overall. Again, it doesn't have to be either or. You can utilize both. If you want help figuring out what you can do to market your business outside of social media, that is exactly what my one-time strategy sessions can be used for. It's a 75-minute call where we can do some market research and look at a strategic approach to growing your business without relying on social. I will leave the link to book a strategy call in the show notes. And one final thing, right now, the importance of building trust with your customers is at an all-time high. This means that getting more reviews, social proof, and testimonials from past and current clients, having transparent pricing, and showing people that your company exists outside of social media are all important parts of creating trust. I really believe that businesses that will do well in 2025 and for years to come will be the ones focusing on building that trust. I encourage you to pick 1 or 2 things on this list that you can get started on this week. And remember, before implementing these tips, please make sure you're doing market research. You hear me talk about market research a lot, and it's because it really is a skill and a part of business that is essential to long-term success. And I'm super excited because soon I'll be launching a online market research event to help business owners not only learn how to do market research, but how to also do it in their business and create a fun environment for you to do it. How this event will work is at the beginning of the call or workshop, I'll share some quick tips on how to do effective market research, and this will be a collaborative call. It's not going to be me speaking and teaching for an hour, just reading off slides. I'm going to give you some tips and then interact with everyone and ask them what market research they're doing today or what they came to the call needing help with in regards to market research. And then we'll do the co-working part of the call. So come to this call ready to do the work. We'll turn off our mics and do our research together. During the co-working time, you can ask me any questions in the chat or unmute yourself and get answers to any questions that come up while you're researching. You'll be able to get your questions answered in real time. And then at the end of the call, you'll be able to share what you found. I'll give some insights on how to implement it, or you can ask any final questions that you have. And by having this community approach to market research, not only does it make it more fun, but it allows you to learn from other people and hear what people are doing outside of your industry, which is always so helpful in business. So you guys, there is no name, no sign-up page or anything, but it is happening soon in April. I'm still figuring those details out, but if you are interested in this, you can join the waitlist to be the first to know when it drops. I'll leave the link to the waitlist in the podcast show notes, and I hope these tips were helpful. Feel free to send me a DM on Instagram or an email. Let me know which ones you want to implement, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this episode, you can help support the podcast by making sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review. Thank you so much, my Money Rebel family, for supporting the show, and tune in next week for another episode.